Hey everybody, welcome to our third video installment in our 5-part series, the 5 pillars of front squat technique. Today we're going to cover the setup, how to properly set your feet up to get the most out of your front squat. The last 2 videos we went over front rack position, how to put the bar on your chest, how to get set. We've also went over breathing and bracing, how to actually brace to prepare for a front squat, how to unrack the bar from the rack. And now we're going to go into how Kaitlynn's going to set up her feet. So once she assumes a position under the bar, she braces, she breathes, she racks the bar on her chest. She's going to step back 2 steps. When we set up for the front squat, the ideal way to set up is going to be different for every person. What's really important and really the base place to start from is that you set your feet in a similar position to the place you receive the clean in. Now, for people with long legs or short legs or some variation that seems odd, or you have some hip mobility or some kind of issue that precludes you from actually sitting in the same position, maybe you don't have the same flexibility or it's extremely uncomfortable, you can go ahead and set up in a different position. But ideally, because we're doing front squats in a way that we want to develop strength out of the hole in the clean, we're going to set up in a way that we're recovering from the clean. So in Kaitlynn's case, this is really close to how she actually receives the weight. Her feet do come out a little bit wider when she cleans. She's going to turn her toes out a little bit. And then from this position, she's going to brace again, keep her torso neutral like we talked about in the last video. Her hips stay underneath her. She's going to put all her body weight in the middle of her foot. Now the middle of her foot is actually going to be like right in front of her shin. So we're not coming way forward onto the toe, and we're definitely not going to be way back on the heel. Main reason for this is that when she descends, we want to have that bar stay over that mid part of her foot. If it's a little bit too far back or too far forward, she's going to lose her balance. Because we don't have very much room to play going forward and back, because we have to stay as upright as possible, she can't make a mistake by having her weight far back and then have to shift forward in the bottom. She'll just dump the weight. Same thing if she has too much of her weight on her front foot or the front of her foot on her toe. When she sits down, she might tip forward and then not be able to recover from that position and then dump the weight. So one thing we want to look at is trying to put your feet in an artificial position where you might feel like you are trying to bring your feet in closer because it makes your front squat a lot stronger. So if Kaitlynh, let's say Kaitlynh was having a position like this and was squatting, go ahead and do a squat, right? Let's just say she feels a lot stronger in this position. But if you look at her actual clean position, so go into actual clean for us, she's actually closer to this, right? Now those 2 positions are pretty dramatically different. As a general sense, it's going to make her legs stronger if she squats in a way that allows her to use more weight. But when it comes to recovering from the clean, she's not getting as much benefit because these are very different angles. In this, her legs are pointed out, her toes are quite a bit more out than we saw before. So ideally, try to mimic that as close as you can. If you're some way halfway in between, so if she came up, maybe moved her feet in a little bit and pointed her toes out still, was sort of close to that and was able to get in that halfway between both, she's going to be a little bit better off. Ideally, we want to mimic the clean as much as we can, but if we can't, we get as close to that as possible. Okay? Try to avoid front squatting or back squatting in a very different way than you would receive the clean, especially as it relates to foot position and where your knees and hips are going to travel. So in conclusion, we went over a couple main points there. The big 2 are keeping the pressure of your body weight in the middle of your foot. We don't want to sit way far back on our heel or way forward on our toe. Try to maintain that balance where the bar stays over that middle part of your foot the whole way it travels. And then the second one is you really want to develop a position in the front squat that mimics your clean as close as possible. Get your feet to the same angle, try to get them the same width, try to utilize the same structure as you would in a clean as you do in a front squat. If you liked our third video in the series, the 5 pillars of the front squat technique, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and keep a lookout for the next 2 videos in our series.